G'day and welcome to the Wanaka A&P show. This is the 77th show here and I'm here with Tony Glynn.
Yes, one of our favourite events of the year, Blackie, for rural TV.
Sarah caught up with the Prime Minister, John Key. She talked to him about rising compliance costs.
And I had the chance to catch up with Marcus Lush, Radio Live breakfast host.
And also the Jack Russell race. We've got Hector, he's sponsored by Rural TV. He's going to be lining up for that, but we're going to have to go because he's got to get ready for that very shortly. We've got the Jack Russell race coming up here at the Wanaka show. It's a pretty amazing event. Been running for a few years now. This year we've got our sponsored dog, sponsored by Rural TV, Hector, Hector Black. I don't know if he's much of a contender. There's some pre-race tension out here. Hector's a bit nervous. He's seen the line-up. There's some good competition. Yeah, I don't know if I like our chances. Geez, he's gone the wrong way. I've lost him. He's missing an action somewhere. I know he's nowhere near the horse. Hector! Oh, there's shagging going on over here. He might have gone straight to the bar. Anyone seen a green dog?
I joined with John Key, celebrity judge today at the Glammies. So John, you obviously love lamb.
Love lamb and more than happy to try it. I've been a judge before. And it's remarkable, actually. I always tell people about the Glammies because you think of lamb, or at least I used to think of lamb as all tasting the same. But of course, once you try all the different cuts, it's very, very different depending on what the sheep's been eating beforehand.
So now, positive news in the last month with Nathan Guy releasing forecasted figures ahead. $5 billion ahead of where you're projecting, especially doubling agriculture by 2025.
Yeah.
Growing compliance costs though, growing pressure around water. So what's the government going to do?
In terms of water, that is a long-term issue for New Zealand. And I think one of the solutions to that is actually ultimately irrigation, gathering more water. I mean, 95+% of water that falls on South Island gets washed out to sea. We don't use it. It's a waste of that resource. So, the government is putting both money and time and energy behind a variety of different schemes and fundamentally being a corner stakeholder in those projects. Look, in terms of compliance, they come in a number of areas. Sometimes it's local government, so without passing the buck, it is how they, for instance, administer the RMA. But in a lot of other areas, we've been trying to streamline that process, and certainly resource management reform is a big agenda item we've got.
Rod, back here again, Wanaka show. It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, it is good. Well, we're lucky with the weather, of course. We've got great weather, but and a great crowd here. And 20 lamb rumps we tested with the Prime Minister.
Rod, standing here listening to you before, I heard you talking about how you test the meat for tenderness. How have you? Has been a bit of an evolution in how the tenderness has come along since you've been doing the Glammies?
Well, there's been an improvement since we've been doing the Glammies, yes, and that's probably not a result of the Glammies, that's just because we're tracking it. But we're just going through a massive tenderness testing program research at the moment where we test meat out of supermarkets and butchers' shelves, and I can tell you that the results are just, for tenderness, are just outstanding.
Well, that's got to be great for the consumer.
Oh, of course, absolutely great for the consumer. Lamb in particular, it's a wonderful product. In terms of consumers' positioning, it's moved significantly from being an everyday product now to a special occasion product, which is a good thing.
Great to see Fraser and Sarah Perriam from Gisborne with their Cooper's. They took out the Glammies this year, Tony.
Yes, they did, and a lot of positivity around the agricultural industry. We're going to go and harass a few of our friends and see what they think. So David Crutchley from Shortland Station, how do you reckon things are going in the farming industry?
It comes down to the individual and how well they're prepared to drive it themselves.
To be fair, the sheep and beef guys are probably struggling a little bit price-wise, but it's all about productivity. So if we can lift their productivity, that's where they're going to get the best result. The dairy guys are obviously happy, but they've got high costs, so we need to balance that out. But it's reasonably optimistic. Most of the guys who are left in farming are the good farmers.
Well, it's always been known as CRT down here in the south, but it's all farmlands now. So we might go into the farmlands tent and just see what some of the guys in there think of the farming industry.
In Central area where we were dry, but things are coming along, and there's a big changes with all the irrigation, and everything's fine. So
Everybody's still smiling.
Oh, a lot of people are smiling, and just guys like you get a bit growly sometimes, but Tony?
So how's it going sheep and beef in your area there?
Well, I think there's a lot more positivity out there at the moment than there probably was this time 12 months ago. Yeah, I mean the returns are slightly better. Probably the lamb market's quite hot. Yeah, I mean you can see with the number of people that are coming through the gate here today, and even yesterday, you know, there's got record numbers through. So I think there's a lot of confidence out there actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I worry about the lamb. I worry about lamb. I worry about wool.
The marketing?
Yeah, I do, because you hear everything. I mean, it's Southland, you're really aware of the whole dairying thing, as you would know.
Yeah.
And you know, and you wonder when the sheep farmers are going to get a break, don't you? Because I mean, I know that everyone seems to be going for nylon carpet. That doesn't seem to be. You don't see the wool market anywhere anymore. I mean, obviously we've got the whole icebreaker thing, which I'm a huge supporter of. That seems to be doing fairly well with Merino, doesn't it? I mean, people, the tourist, the shops, the flash shops are full of tourists buying this stuff, so that's got to be a great thing. But I think probably we need about 4 or 5 companies a bit like that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah, no, they're doing a great job. A lot of people doing a lot of work with the wool in there, but
but just they simply can't get a break into. And I guess the sad thing is it all comes down to marketing, doesn't it? You know, that's the whole thing about you can have the best product in the world, but if people don't know about it, and I don't know what I don't know what Keezy said about it yesterday. But she's got to be marketing, hasn't it?
I think people like yourself, you need to be wearing a big woolen jersey on TV.
Yeah, well, I'm wool.
Good man, you got the wool
woolen
there.
hat. Yeah, you know. So yeah, I'm big on wool.
Okay, Craig Adams, international country star and expert on the wool
Depends
industry.
on what hat I'm wearing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How do you think things are going in the agricultural sector at the moment?
In some areas it's going really well, but yeah, very difficult in the merino wool market at the moment, particularly down the fine end of the market. Just a real increase in production in Australia with drought conditions over there. It's dry, it's pushing wool finer, and there's just a far too much wool and not enough demand down that fine end. The medium to stronger end, it's not great in the market, but in relative terms it's not quite so bad, and it's an area that we've had a lot of contracts and brand partners that can take wool. So the guys in that area are quite happy and are well protected, but down the fine end they're really, really quite struggling. So we're doing a lot of work in helping people to look at what's best for their production on farm, what are the areas that they can look at to shift to best suit their environment and what they're doing. So there's a lot of work going on, and we're still really optimistic about the industry. I think that we need a sheep industry in New Zealand. We can't just be one big dairy farm. So there's a lot of work and a lot of effort and money being invested in the wool industry at the moment. Yeah.
Now the music industry, what's going on there? You entertained us last night in the Bullock Bar. It was awesome.
Yeah, I love playing here in Wanaka. I love being here in Wanaka. It's a beautiful place and good people. And yeah, the Bullock Bar is just one of those iconic places that just seems to go off. And weekends like this where it's show weekend, there's a lot of town and country people around. They get in the groove. And yeah, so we had last night, and looking forward to another big night there tonight. Yeah.
Well, Blackie, once again, we've had a great time at the Wanaka A&P show. We've had a few beers with a few old mates.
Oh, we've had a great time, Tony. And we had the Jack Russell race. Hector didn't go that well, didn't perform to his capabilities. Still lost, still missing.
He's still the man though, Blackie, and now we're off to the rodeo.
We're going to go to the National Rodeo Finals, which are held here in Wanaka this weekend. And I think we're going to see everyone again at the National Field Days at Mystery Creek.
We'll see you there.